Hello guys, welcome to Modern Web. In today's video we will learn about CSS Transform. If you are new to my channel, well, Modern Web makes tutorial on web development to master your web dev skills. If that excites you, make sure to subscribe it. This CSS Transform video is a part of CSS series. In this series, we will talk about important CSS concepts. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe the channel and stay tuned. So without wasting more time, let's start the video. So let's see why we need transform. Let's take an example here. Let's say we have three boxes. So in HTML, these three boxes look like a normal box, of course. But what if we want to rotate it and change its transform or shape a little bit? For exactly this purpose, we have CSS transform. Okay, so now we know why we need CSS transform. So let's see how we can use CSS transform. We use CSS transform using transform property, and its valid values are translate, rotate, skew, and scale. We will see them one by one. So our first value is translate. Translate is used to place the element by setting its position from top, left, bottom, right from respective to the parent. You can see the illustration, you can see the axis, y-axis, z-axis and x-axis. You should remember these axes in order to use CSS transform. So let's see what do I mean. Let's make an index.html page and give it a title, let's say CSS transform, and link style.css file. Inside body tag, make a div and give it a class box. Great. Now open the style.css and select the body element. And as we already learned about display flags, use display flags here and use justify content center and align item center. This will place the div or box in the center. We already learned about flexbox, so I just did it. Set its height to 100 vh so that our align item center will work. Now select the box element and give its width and height as much you like. Set its background to whatever color you like, your favorite color. Now let's see the output. You can see a green box in the center. Great. Now let's see the use of translate. Give it a property transform and the value of course translate. You can see our translate value takes two parameters, x value and y value. Great. So these value could be anything, a pixel value or a percentage value, it doesn't matter. For this I am setting 100 pixels from x and 200 pixels from y axis. And if I see the output, if I refresh the site, you can see my box is not in the center now. It's 200 pixels down and 100 pixels right. So this was our translate property. But what if I only want to give x? For that we have translate x and it's only take the x-axis value. Now you can see it's 100 pixels left from the center. And if I want only to change y-axis, it's translate y. And we also have translate z. This will translate it in the z-axis. Generally translate z is useless unless you are using a 3D view or you are creating a 3D element. Other than this, we have another property, translate 3D. And translate 3D takes all three axis values x, y and z. You can see my box is shifted from the center. So this was all about translate. Now let's see some other values. And the other value is rotate. And of course as the name suggests, rotate used to rotate the element. And how we access it? We access it with the help of rotate key. So let's take an example of it also. Use rotate, and inside it we give a value in degree, and here I am setting it's like 45 degree. And if I refresh the site, you can see my box is rotated to 45 degree now. And you can see I am changing its rotating value in from the inspector, and it's rotating in the z-axis or 2D plane. You can see it's rotating in 2D plane, of course. Other than that, we have more values of rotate, like rotate x, and this will rotate the element in the x-axis, along the x-axis. But you can see I'm seeing nothing, like I don't think so it's rotating in x direction. If I change the value of rotate x, you can see it's just scaling down, isn't it? Rotating. Yeah. Why is that? This is because we are not viewing this site in a 3D perspective. What do I mean with that? We will talk about it later. For now, just remember we have these properties. We have another property called rotate y, and of course this will rotate the element in along y axis. After that, we have rotate z, and this will rotate the element in the z axis. This is same as the simple rotate key because both are used to rotate the element in 2D plane. You can see I'm changing its value, and it is rotating the element in the 2D plane. Great. Now let's see some other values. And the other value of transform could be scale. And of course, scale used to scale the element along y-axis or x-axis. Let's see some demo of it. So to use scale, we use scale keyword. Here it will take x and y values, but you can, if you give only one value, it will assume that you are giving for both values. So if I give here 0.5, you can see the box is now half of the original size. The same as if you only want to scale it along the x-axis, we have scale xy property, and this will scale it along x-axis only. The same if we want it to scale in the y-axis, we have a scale y property. Or you can just give x and y property together using scale property. So isn't that simple? And after that, we have another property called skew. Skew used to slant the element. What do I mean with that? Let's see a demo of it. As the same of rotate, it takes value in degrees. And you can see I gave a 10 degree and it slanted the div in 10 degree. And if I give 40 degree, it slant the div 40 degree. We also have x and y system here also. So if I give skew x, of course the default one was skewing it on the x direction, so nothing is changed. And skew y will skew this and make an angle of it with respective to y axis. So this was all about CSS transform. Now let's see some of other properties of it. The first one is transform origin. Transform origin sets the origin of transformation. You can see the illustration. We have these much of points to set what origin we want it to be transformed. Now for example, rotate the box for now. So set rotate and set it to be 45 degree, let's say. And now let's open the inspector window here and change the rotate value from the inspector. You can see my div is rotating along center axis. Now you'll use transform origin and set it to be top left. and now you can see it's not in the center right now. And if I change the rotate value now, you can see now it's not rotating from center, it's rotating from top left point. So that is the use of transform origin, to set the origin. Now if I change the transform origin to bottom left, you can see the point is shifted to bottom and it's rotating along the bottom left point. So this is transform origin. After that we have perspective, and this property we use to make elements in 3D. What is perspective? Perspective is a viewing angle, and this property will allow us to make elements in 3D. What do I mean with that? You remember we used rotate x value, which was just scaling down the div. Yeah, now let's make it actual 3D. For that, add perspective property to the parent element. Remember, we always add perspective to the parent element so that we can define a respective viewing angle. You can add any value to it. The number should be numerical and a pixelated value, and also the smaller the number is, the closer the object will appear. So if I give it 100 pixel and refresh the site, now you can see the rotated element. Now you can see it is in 3D and it is appearing very closer, and if I change the 100 to 1000 pixel, now it's very far away. So perspective just set the viewing angle and viewing distance from the element to make it 3D. So that's it. That was all about CSS Transform. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask me in the comment, and if I missed something, let me know in the comment. So before we wrap up this video, I would like to give you some practice design so you can practice it. You can find 3 designs in the description which I designed, of course, and you can find some instructions below the designs. You can follow them and make the design code yourself. If you stuck anywhere, feel free to ask me via my Instagram or mail me on my mail. Once you made those designs, make sure you submit it on my Instagram by tagging me. I'll be glad to see your designs. This really motivates me to make this CSS series. And remember, if you stuck anywhere, feel free to ask me. So that's it about today's video. Thanks for watching.